to start your season at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here.
I just don't get people who like working out. Come on, man. You just gotta see the lighter side of lighter side of lighter side of lighter side. You all ready for this? You think other people work out like us? Sure, they're out there. Just kind of fun.
You remember when you got her? You had hours and hours just driving and driving. You spent your Saturdays fixing whatever needed fixing just to get her right. 20 years later, isn't it time you two got reacquainted? You're ready to get over here. Because at LMC Truck, we know that while time may pass, passion for it never faded. Get her back on the road,
But Dad wanted this. You just want to help this family.
The living need our help. Have you always been here?
Well, listening.
So,
all new Kindred
you
Spirits.
said last year you paid
Travel Channel and Travel
5,000 or something.
I did,
Why?
because I had
You have
worked
to
on
bring
it.
in everything that you
Oh,
do.
you
If we just try to wing it, you know, from the
See, that's
rotisserie,
what my
sure, if it's on a bid pack, those cars move a lot, so it's
I
just
know,
super
but it all works
Yes.
together.
Get
Yeah.
this car supported, get the car put together, make sure it's good, so that way when he's bolting it together, there's no surprises, or something doesn't fit, or we gotta shake it down here, or have to refit something. Or with the time crunch, Acima always gives no matter what, you have to refit everything to just avoid that problem, because there's no time to go back and redo anything.
You know, we're waiting for parts from other places, so when we can actually do some pre-fitting in places that we can, it's just gonna make the whole assembly process so much quicker. With the deadline that we have and the parts that we have, to be able to pre-fit stuff, like the doors, we pre-fit the doors, but once we got the fenders on, you know, the doors weren't shutting correctly, so there had to be a whole lot of work like that, just unknown stuff that kind of just pops up during the process.
I'm excited to hear it run. You know, it's 1,000 horsepower hitting. We got the first one. It's not like there's a lot of, you know, we heard the one run in Vegas, but that's all we had. So I'm excited to get this thing put together, get the exhaust on it, run it. I'm excited to drive it.
T-minus 10 seconds to crispier, fluffier Eggo home-style waffles. We are go for now that they're crispier and fluffier.
I think this one's a solo mission.
I understand.
What do you like with your Eggo?
Domino's Tracker now has GPS, so you can follow your order. Just take those old records off. Use it to get a delivery alert, so we don't catch you before you're ready. Get any 2 or more medium 2 topping pizzas delivered for just $5.99 each.
I work hard and I want my money to work hard too. So I use my Freedom Unlimited card. Even when I'm spending, I'm earning 1.5% cash back on everything I buy. Earn on my favorite suit. Got it. Earning on Daddy Clean. Don't touch it, don't touch it yet. Let me get the big one. No. This one? No. This one? No. Let me get them all. I'm gonna get them all. Just the basics. Can you double bag this right here? Earn 1.5% cash back whenever you buy with Freedom Unlimited. Can you also tell me what it is? Chase. Make more for yours.
Hi. Can you tell me how to get to I-70, please? Okay, are you? Yes. Thank you.
Switch to Progressive and you can save hundreds. You know, like the sign says.
believe the most amazing machines are inspired by you. Experienced travelers out of curiosity.
We got an old highway department dump truck that we want to make cool. You can do anything. This truck is the biggest and heaviest that we've done to date.
Homeboy, Texas, episode Totally Attached on Overtrack. Listen to every episode out for Yummy Out.
I've never met somebody who's so easy to be with.
Angela's life is all about, you know, just what one girl thinks.
Tuesdays at 7 Central.
Applebee's new Irresistibles, now starting at $7.99. That's even good in the neighborhood.
So I want everybody to remember that the employee has
So you want to put that many still or what?
Well, we need to call and find out what they will do. So if they'll allow us to put money in, and then they will pay us for what I paid for our health care, then it's just kind of a money game that way. But it's what it does, it makes it so that we'll have to maybe get $1,500 back on our taxes. So yeah, we need to call and find out if we put money in for 2019,
So at this time,
if they will pay me back for the money I paid out of my pocket for our deductible.
Piss Will off. So.
So if they will do that, then I can take, I'll give you
A lot of these parts we were working with were very delicate
$4,500
parts.
to
I
put
mean,
into
you
it,
could literally
and then we
bend
can
them,
take
start
that money
pressing
back
them.
out
So,
and pay for
yeah, it was a really tricky.
or they will
delicate
give
operation
me the money back,
to build such a beautiful car.
You would bring back to my friend.
and then we will save $1,500 on taxes.
Just, I hate it. I hate it a lot worse.
But if they won't let us do that, we should still probably put a couple thousand into it, and then you'll have that money for whatever healthcare comes up that you can pay for. Plus it'll cut our taxes down by $550.
To find out that it doesn't seat all the way up, or it doesn't seat all the way down, or it binds halfway going up, because you have something in wrong. So, to me, the part I've read in her is
She's just so smart.
She's so smart, she's so nice.
Yeah, she is so nice.
When it comes to an example of how I'm used to working on a unibody car, it's all one from one end to the other. It's all
Yeah, we've had a hard job.
In this car,
I know my
it's
job.
gonna have a certain amount of strength.
Yeah, she knows her job.
We reinforced the body before we ever cut it apart. Made sure things could pre-fit everything. We had great gaps, great everything, right up to the point where everything was painted, and we're trying to put it together. You put the inner fender on, you bolt the left-hand outside fender to it, or the right-hand outside fender to it, to find out that it doesn't fit up against the door. So you go back to the door, and you move it back, or you move it up, or you move it down. Go back to the fender again. Now you have a good gap there, but the back of the door is touching against the quarter panel. It's just like it moved. I'm not superstitious, and I doubt very much that that car is possessed by anything. I doubt that very much. But the panels that I had perfectly aligned right before they got painted, and paint doesn't make things flow. Paint doesn't make a fender not fit. It just doesn't happen. That tells me that things, no matter how you slice it, when it comes up that you're cutting an area on a door to make it fit where it fit before, things didn't move. So what? It is what it is. No matter where you're at on what car, putting doors on, fenders on, inner fenders on, after the paintwork's done, is always nerve-wracking. It's easy enough to just make a check. When you're having to really manipulate them to get them to go where they're supposed to go, that even increases the odds of doing some damage to it. So yeah, I'm always nervous when it comes to putting a new panel on a new freshly painted car. Murphy's Law, right? That's what I say. Anything can happen. One little nudge, somebody says, yeah, I got the door, and they don't got the door. And it comes back and chips the edge of it, it's fine. It's a solid red card, you can do a brush touch on it. Nobody probably even know it was ever there. If you do enough of that, all of a sudden it's gonna look like salt and pepper. And nobody wanna go to SEMA and say, ladies and gentlemen, here's a salt and pepper Christine. What do you think? Right? And then they do that laugh like Eddie Murphy did. Ha ha, you man, Gandas from Icebox.
Being able to get help whenever we can on some of these cars when we got these, short time frames. George is able to actually come out here, help get stuff put on the car. So anytime we can get help like that is just awesome.
It was quite a hectic process dealing with all of the parts being out to various vendors and waiting for them to come back. And you needed all the parts so you could put things on, and it seemed like a lot of times we were missing different parts that were holding up other parts, and sometimes we put things on just to trial fit them, not knowing how they were going to fit. Then we'd have to take them back off and wait for the rest of the components to get back so that we could finally get everything together. Yeah, it was a long, tedious process.
Trying to buck these cars out when they're working right next to you is a pain in the butt. You get an area looking nice, and Mark comes in with his oversized fingers and smeared all over and makes a mess. So when it's in the paint shop, you go from area to area, go back to an area. You don't have that luxury doing it this way, but you got to make the best of it, and it has to get done. You have to get the cut and buff all done, because once the chrome goes on, you can't buff it. So if you got that big molding going down the side, once that's on there, can't go up there and get right next to it to buff. So you got to cut that paint flat and get everything looking perfect before Mark starts assembling all the decoration that goes on the car.
When you talk about a car having a show finish on it, typically there's a few things that make that a show car finish. Now a lot of people might claim they have show car finish when they just have a driver finish. One is the car should be flat. Meaning, when you look down the side of it, you shouldn't see any deviations. You should be able to shade in that thing from 50 feet away. There shouldn't be one warble. You should be able to walk fluorescent lights up and down the side of it with your eyes like that. And they should not do any swingy stuff. That's step one in making sure that you have a flat car. Two is the depth and the gloss. That's where the wet sand and buffing comes in. So, I can't put a door handle, a belt molding, a mirror, a vent glass, a run channel, a bumper, body side molding anywhere on this car until those areas have been wet sanded and buffed to glossy finish.
So things get pretty chaotic when you got 4 people working around this car all at one time. You got headliner going in, you got wheel buffing, and I'm trying to get electrical stuff done just to get this car to be able to run. It gets really crowded really quick.
Larry's great. He's just a genuine salt of the earth, good-hearted guy. He'll do anything for you, anytime, even when he's probably way too busy to do it. I've been working with him for 25 years, so he's done a lot of cars for us. He's the only guy that I trust with these cars and that will come out to the shop and do the work for us. That's so key. Take our famous comeback car, the 70 Coronet RT, Hemi 4-speed, $1.2 million car. Do you really want to send that out to a shop across town and hope that they put the top on and don't scratch anything? Out of your supervision? Might be just fine, but I love that he comes here, that he's mobile. So no, he's part of the architecture here at Graveyard Cars, and I hope that he always is.
There is a house that stands strong, built on a foundation of fury, grit, and muscle, and home to only a few. Welcome to the Brotherhood of Muscle.
At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a gold medal grizzly.
What an unlikely field in this final heat.
Not exactly a skinny dipper, but we covered it. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. So call 1-800-FARMERS to get a quote.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
In America, we all count, no matter where we call home, how we worship, or who we love. And the 2020 census is how that great promise is kept. Because this is the count that informs where hundreds of billions in funding will go each year for things like education, healthcare, and programs that touch us all. Shape your future. Start here. Learn more at 2020census.gov.
Let's get down to business. The business of road trips, adventure, and reconnecting. Modernized comfort inns and suites have been refreshed because our business is you. Get the lowest price guaranteed on all Choice Hotels when you book direct at choicehotels.com.
PNC Bank has technology to help make banking easier, like a business borrowing solution to help get a little more space with a lot less mom, or Home Insight to search for a new house within your budget because they really need their space. PNC, make today the day.
It gets to be a cluster when you have these cars that have tight deadlines on them. Every mechanic who has an agenda, subcontractors like Larry, the upholstery guy who has an agenda, put the headliner in. Will's over here trying to do a buff. I need to put the bumper on, but I can't put the bumper on because he's doing a buff in the area that the bumper goes onto. I can't put the handles in because he has to buffer in the door handle opening areas. Meanwhile, Larry's shaking the car like it's going out of style, trying to get everything pulled tight. That adds a lot of stress to things. And mostly what it is you know how to do the next step. It's just hard to do when there's so many people involved in it. That's what I mean by cluster. So if you're adding up a tally sheet on stress on a daily basis, I've been doing it a long time. It takes a lot to rock the ice trace world, but this one's building up to it. Because you have the car that has to go, everybody waiting for it, employees all over it, like a bunch of monkeys on a football. Nothing can get done. One guy shakes something while you're trying to put something else on and it gets scratched. You have 140 pieces of chrome and anodizing that are halfway across the country getting plated, hoping that they're not having the same problems that you're having. And any of those things could go bad. Anything could go bad. You talk about a 60-year-old taillight bezel. They strip the anodizing off of it. They go to polish it to give it a shine. They burn through it. Well, you're not going to go down to the local parts store. You're done. You're sunk. Your battleship is sunk.
Putting Christine together is, it's truly a puzzle. Not only can nobody really help, it's really only Mark, Doug, and Justin, because they're the only ones that have any knowledge of the car because they tore it apart. So there's been a bunch of instances that we've run into putting a part on and we've had to take it back off because two other pieces got to go on first. So a lot of times during this build, something will go together and you got to start all over again because we don't have the first-hand knowledge on this type of car.
When you're talking about a car that has so many components, because back then they just did. They were proud of their cars, and there's a lot of things that went in to show how proud they are. Just to build out a dash is probably 60 pieces by the time you're all done building out the dash. So a lot of it is when it's laying out on a table in front of you and you don't have a reference right next to it, and maybe you don't have that great of a picture of it, it's kind of a puzzle. I don't mind building puzzles. I used to do it all the time as a kid. But at least you could build the frame, and then you start working and finding pieces that look similar together in different shapes, put them together. In this case, you just do your best to try to start what you think is going to be the first part that has to go on. You don't want to put a door handle, a belt molding, a wing vent in if the very first thing that has to go in is the door lock somewhere, or the